Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the first official episode of our Let's Play of Battle Brothers here on the channel. As I think I mentioned in the preview for this series, I tend to live stream, not just straight record for a Let's Play. So this is recording just for a Let's Play. It's sort of new to me. There's no chat room to talk to. It's just sort of me throwing myself out there. It's just kind of different for me. Hopefully we adapt and we do okay. Battle Brothers is a game currently in early access, as you can see in the lower corner. It is a turn-based strategy combat game. That being said, there is a real-time element as well where you move around the map to various towns fulfilling contracts, which earn you money for which to buy supplies for your mercenary band, and it's a lot of fun. I've really been enjoying it. There's several really good Let's Plays of it already on YouTube, so if you look around, you'll be able to find those. Some of them are very long, also many episodes. I'm not sure how far we'll get, because the game is also quite difficult. And so far in my playing and practicing, I guess you could call it, I have not exactly done stellar, nor been super successful in terms of keeping everyone alive for a long enough time to really level up a lot or get somewhere into the game. But that being said, I had a lot of fun, so I thought, well, let's give it a shot, and you know, we'll just see how far we get. So I did make a poll for this, and the winning vote factor here was the Salt Squad, and I don't really think that there was a great icon. I did like this one as far as different icons that you could use with the tear falling down, which is I think what we'll probably go with. I'm just going to kind of click through all these real quick. This also was another choice for the failure that's inbound, as I was sort of previewing all of the choices. But I think we're going to go for this as our inaugural banner, because we'll probably get salty about something. So I am not going to click Iron Man, simply because every once in a while you do run into the bugs in this still. It is early access, like I said. And I'd rather not have to deal with that in case something ridiculous bugs out on us. Be able to reload a save from earlier if necessary. I hope it doesn't happen, but we'll see. So let us begin the journey of the Salt Squad in Battle Brothers. You can change your camera height with plus and minus. I just used the scroll wheel on the mouse. The last battle. It all went wrong. 2 days ago, the company was hired to track down Hogarth the Weasel and his band of raiders. But it was them who found you first. An ambush! Some joke about horses, cut short by an arrow to the throat. Arrows shooting in from everywhere and nowhere. Men holler and scream a great volume before death. As the hail subsides, you draw your weapon with the rest of your men, only to collapse to your knees. An arrow's punctured your side, you shout in pain. A harried glance sees the men charge without you to make a valiant last stand, met in force as steel clashes with steel. You meet eyes with the captain, a last nod before his throat is cut. You're left in command now with what few men remain. Trembling in pain, you lean on your sword and with all the will you can muster, slowly rise again. To the end! New tip, and here we go. So here's our fighting screen. Wherein you see two of your comrades get brutally slain before you can even do anything. This is sort of like a tutorial mission, although there's not like a tutorial per se. It doesn't say, click here to shoot with your ability, do this to move. Like, it doesn't do that, but it's just sort of like a small little skirmish here, where you can see various things. Now, before we really kind of get into this, I'm going to go over a couple of UI things. Here we have the round number. This is the number of troops on our side and the number of troops on the trying to kill us enemy opponent side. As you can see from the pictures here, this guy has a two-handed axe. We got a spear and a shield down here. He's got a flail of some kind, which is good for headshots. This dude got a crossbow. He's got a regular bow. He also has like mail armor, it sort of looks like, but no helmet. This guy has no helmet, and two of our guys don't have helmets. If you look down here, you can see sort of like armor these other people who have passed away were wearing, and so on and so forth. Now, when I play, I tend to use the hotkeys for a lot of this stuff. You can click on them. This skips your turn until later in the initiative round if you wish. This button or F or Enter ends the turn of that character completely. They don't get to go until the next round. You have AP in this game, which is here. Action points. Every action, of course, that you do takes points. And if you're going to move somewhere, you see it auto-deducts that. If you are going to shoot, for example, it will tell you how many AP you'll have left afterward, and so on and so forth. This is fatigue, which builds up as you take actions. If this gets too high, you will not be able to act. It will prevent you from acting. This is your morale level. If it gets too low, your characters will automatically attempt to flee from the battle. This is your head armor and how much you have versus the total repair possibility. Your body armor is here and your health is here. I think that sort of covers the basics of the UI. You have also lowering the camera and raising the camera, which blocks out certain tiles to make things easier to see. And this centers the camera on whoever is currently acting. This allows you to attempt to retreat. If you do that, you'll probably lose someone unless you're at the very edge of the map. There are special symbols that line the map. On the far tiles, if you scroll over far enough, these little flags here will enable you to retreat should you wish. And if all of your characters are there when you retreat, you will retreat safely. That said, once you are in a battle, there is no... even if you hit escape, you see there's only resume or run. There is no save or load option when you are in a fight, which is something I kind of appreciate. You can't save scum a fight sort of turn by turn in this game, which is very nice. Now you'll note that this guy has a buckler, so I don't really want to shoot at him. This guy's out of range, so our best bet to shoot someone is this guy, 59%. And we murdered him. So now we'll reload with that guy, and we'll wait. This guy always runs away, because he's a chicken. So we will wait, and we will move up just slightly with this guy. We'll drop a shield wall in. This guy will move forward and probably skewer himself to death. And I'm fine with that. So let's see what he does. Now see, we made him dodge completely, these two, and focus on the archer, which probably was not ideal, but that's okay. We'll try and stab this guy. Puncture, well-placed attack, punctures opponent's armor. Ignores all armor, harder to hit with. So yeah, only a 27 or a 42. Let's try that. And we missed. So we'll move in, and we'll also miss. Your guys miss a lot at the beginning. It's just kind of how it is. That hit our armor a little bit. And so. Yeah, we got the kill with the archer, which is actually kind of what you want. Now on this screen it tells you how much damage you did with that character, how many kills you got with that character, the amount of experience that you gain with that character, and if you are damaged. Now you'll note that our archer here got a buttload of extra experience compared to these other two plebeians because he got the kills. So if you get kills, you do get bonus XP, but there's always a base amount that everyone gets for each fight. After the fight, then you also get loot. The loot drops are, from what I can tell, fairly randomized based on what you fight, but it's always items that are dropped by the enemies you are fighting. So if your enemies are using good weapons or good armor and you kill them, you do have a chance to recover those items for free, as it were, after the fight is over, which is great. So there we got our loot, and away we go. Now our objective for the Salt Squad is to kill Hogarth. Now we did not do that yet because he ran away. But that being said, ooh, there's a town. Salt Haven! The Salt Squad, Salt Haven. It is a sign of awesomeness. I think it'll probably send us here to Krakendorf. Now you don't know where to go. Now I know it'll send us to a town because I played before, but as soon as you unpause, it will pop up with this screen. The aftermath. You're alive. You won. The adrenaline fades, and in its wake, you can't help but sink back to the ground. It looks like you won't be holding a sword again anytime soon. Gritting your teeth, you snap the arrow shaft, which, by the way, I just want to point out, historically, really bad idea. You should probably push it through and then cauterize it. But anyway, that's what the game said you did. Your chest heaves for breath, feeling the pain well up in your very lungs. Most of the company is dead. All the men you fought with side by side in the shield wall this past year, Hogarth did justice to his name, running like the weasel that people mock him to be. What now? A voice says from behind. It's Thorben Orkbane. who sits down beside you, bedding his bloodied axe on his legs. You turn to reply. Before you can answer, he continues, "The captain's dead. They slit his throat. He was a good man and a damn good leader, but all it took was one mistake. That makes you the one in charge now, don't it?" Aldemar joins the two of you, still breathing heavily. "Let's save the anointments for another day. I figure we give the men a good burial and return to Krakendorf to collect our pay. The weasel's men are slain, after all, even if the man himself tucked tail and ran, and we ought to see to that arrow sticking out of you before we lose another man." So be it. So this gives us our direction. Spacebar will pause the game when you're on this map at any time. You can use the mouse wheel or to scroll out and sort of look around. Now, as you look at the map itself, there's a couple of UI things I just kind of want to explain. On a lot of these towns and villages, you see symbols. There are 3 clans that have randomized symbols that are there in every game. We'll talk about those more in a second. But that's what these banners are. They control these various towns around the map. Now you'll also see that the map is fairly large, and there's a good chunk of it out here in this particular version that we cannot see. It's not revealed yet to us. You can explore these areas and find what lies there, which is why I said earlier, it looks like that there's a town here, because you can see there's the road and the little things that are floating around there. So just an indication sometimes. This road sort of goes off into nowhere. So one would suspect that over here somewhere is another town, just because roads typically go between towns in the game. So it's just how it is. The train is randomly generated each time you start, along with the names of the cities and so on and so forth, along the placement and everything like that. In the upper left, you've got your crowns. This is the amount of money that you have. It also keeps track for you when you hover over it how much you pay out per day and how long you can afford to pay your troops for. In like measure provisions, you use so much per day to feed your people. If you run out, sad to say, of either of these two things, your soldiers may desert. I mean, they are mercenaries. They want to get paid and fed. So if you are not paying them and feeding them, they will probably leave you. So just something to keep in mind. You can buy provisions in towns, and often after fights you can loot some provisions or some gold, are usually floating around. Tools and supplies enable you to repair the gear that you have equipped, but not automatically repair the things in the stash. You can do that if you wish, but it is not automatically done. When your archers shoot arrows, or you throw javelins, there are various ranged weapons in the game. This takes arrows and ammunition supplies to do. They are refilled after the fight. When you start out the game, as I'll show you in a second, we look at the character screen once we're in town and we look at hiring some more people. You only have one group of ammunition with you. So if you shoot all of those arrows or all of those quarrels, if you're using a crossbow, you are out of ammunition for the rest of that fight and you have to use melee or something else. You could have a backup quiver or a set of quarrels or whatever that you can switch out if you thought to bring one. And this one is medical supplies, which you use to heal your troops from the damage that they take. Some damage is permanent and cannot be healed. Most wounds heal between 1 and 4 days in-game. Here in the middle it tells you it is the first day we have played the campaign. It is currently morning. This little wheel, of course, spins. There is day-night. Nighttime you can't see as far. On the map here you can't see as far out. You can't see as many people moving around. Same thing here on flat ground. You cannot see as far as if you were in the mountains, but of course if you're in the mountains you move slower, so you have that drawback also. Up here in the upper right you can camp. We can camp. We can chill and let time pass. Also a good way to heal if you have the supplies, money, and so forth to do so, and you're kind of worried about it. This will show you a relation to the various factions in the game. Now, once we start dealing with some towns, various towns will start to appear down here also with our reputation. And these are each of the houses. I'm not going to go into detail and read all this stuff yet until that becomes more relevant later in the game as we start to deal with them more and do contracts for them. This will show or hide footprints around the world so that you can follow or avoid them more easily. I have it, of course, set to on because it is nice to see where these various groups are going on the map. And of course, all sorts of groups are wandering on the map all the time. And this centers the camera back on your guards, which is nice. And here we have our inventory screen. You can see here that this dude right here does not have a helmet, so we're going to drop a helmet to him. So what did you have? 55. What's this? 55. And this is 70. So we're going to switch that out. These guys, really nice to be able to give them more armor when they have a two-handed weapon because, of course, you don't have a shield. Having a shield is nice, but not... you can't use it with a two-handed weapon. If you do switch out your weapons in a battle like I did, don't forget after the battle to switch them back. Otherwise, you sort of have to waste some points at the beginning of the next round switching that out. Now, it was kind of nice that we got this armor because now we have an extra set of armor that's fairly decent. So we're just going to... if you hold Alt and right-click, this little symbol will appear, which means that you are repairing that piece of armor. Now, this flail, not really worth repairing so much. It is a nice weapon for headshotting enemies. You get a bonus % chance to hit. So we're going to leave that there for when we recruit someone else. We'll have a weapon waiting for them. And off we are to Krakendorf. Across the sea. Now, when you get to a little inlet like this, a little chunk of water, you just sort of float across it. I'm not sure if you build a raft secretly in the background or something. I don't know. But you do cross, which some people have found to be funny or strange and whatever. So here you have an amber collector, and when we get to this marketplace, you'll see they'll have amber for sale. And here we are, the return. What a sorry display it must be for the onlookers as you arrive in Krakendorf. 4 bloodied and beaten mercenaries down on their luck. The man who hired the company days ago, Casper, the trade master, no doubt expected you to return in a more glorious fashion. Still, he welcomes you to his house again and offers bread and wine while a servant fetches a healer. Few words are exchanged except for the occasional grunt and wheeze as an elderly man with shaky hands tends your wounds. Finally, Caspar, the trade master, breaks the silence. So, how did you fare? A pin. Nice through your skin, the first of many stitches to come. You grit your teeth till you think you hear one break. Caspar, the trade master, takes on a grave look, and he quickly hides his face behind a drink of wine. Finding breath, you give answer to his asinine question. We killed all of Hogarth's men, but he managed to elude our blades in the end. It was sort of rhymed, too, which is nice. The healer waves around a glowing fire poke, suggesting he wants to push it into your wound. You nod and he does so. For a moment, that's all there is. You're not a man, but a pinch of fire, flesh from flame. As the pain subsides, you come to see that Caspar, the trade master's mood is lightened. So all his men are dead, then? Well, I see. A good thing you removed that threat from Krakendorf, but that man is truly elusive. We expect to get paid for this. Caspar, the trade master, guessed. Well, naturally, I gave my word, didn't I? 100 crowns for every man, so as I see it, that's 400 crowns for the 4 of you. He gestures towards the servant, who nods and hands him a wooden chest from which to take the pay. I wonder, may I make use of your services one more time? I'd very much like to end the headache that is Hogarth the Weasel once and for all, and I would pay you again, of course, another 400 crowns, shall we say? Thorben Orkbane scoffs and turns to drink more wine, but Aldemar stands to speak. Yes, the company's in ruins, but we can rebuild it. You know, Thorben Orkbane, he'd drink the crowns away and end up begging on the streets, and Bertram wouldn't fare any better chasing the women folk until one stove his rotted head in. We need the salt squad. It's all we have. What say you, Captain? The Thorben Orkbane burbs and raises his cup to you. Bertram playfully thumbs his nose and nods. You're their captain now, and your men look to you for leadership. So now you have a choice. If you choose this, you sort of get a new contract, and you can chase him down. Or you can say no, and you can search around for your other contract in other cities and so on and so forth. I've often found that this is probably the best way to start. You get a little bit extra money, which is great. A little bit of a closure here to the opening intro. But also you don't have to immediately start scouting around for a new contract, which is also nice. So we'll say yes, we have unfinished business. Caspar the trade master claps his hands in satisfaction. Very good, excellent. I'll need some time to find out where Hogarth's hiding his hide now. Hiding his hide, I love it. In the meantime, I suggest you see about stocking up on supplies. You'll be good and ready to end with this when the time comes. I'll see you in a few days' time at the latest. As you leave the comforts of Caspar the Trader's house and stand on the outskirts of Krakendorf again, Altamar seeks a word with you. What it is we need is more men, Captain. I know I gave a big speech back there, but we ain't nothing without more warm bodies in the ranks. We should hire at least 3 more sword hands, buy them some decent weapons, and dress them in the best armor we can afford. The man pauses to glance around. I bet this Bodunk town's got a desperate peasant or two looking for a new life, or we could travel to Salthaven in the northwest. Yeah, I told you we were going to Salthaven. Them city folk aren't always as hardy as these country bumpkins, but we're more likely to find men with fighting experience stopping to rest there, and they'll sell better weapons too, and that's what we'll do. And we'll go here to the merchant. So we have a temple. Now, if you go to the temple and you have somebody who has a wound of some kind, you can pay them to remove that. You have a dock. And you can sort of sail wherever. We might just sail here because 30 really is not much of anything. Let's see, who do we got down here? Ooh, a tailor. Tailors are actually really good to get if you can. Yeah, we're gonna get the tailor for sure. What are you? A fisherman. Maybe we'll see what the other town has before we deal with you. Oh, you do have amber. It's worth 260 and you're selling it for 260. Yes, I will grab a couple. Also a spear, probably not too shabby to have. The shield, nice. Helmet, and is this armor worth it? Yeah, maybe. Okay. And then we'll just go to our inventory and we'll equip our new guy. So move this guy to the middle. This will give you a new hat, new armor. We'll give you a spear and a shield. Very nice. Now this is 55. What is this? 35? Yeah, let's switch those out. And I will repair this while we're here. Now trade goods are kind of nice if you can sell them for, you know, a reasonable amount. We bought them for 260 and the game will tell us later about that. So let's just go here. There is another contract here, which is great. This is a bigger town. They have a barber. You can customize your soldier's appearance there. And they have a tavern. You can drink there and get rumors. This is other contracts. This is a 1-star, 1 skull contract, which means it's a beginning sort of contract. Usually. Sometimes they try and trick you. And of course we have a bunch of people here we can hire. Higher range defense, but lower melee. Higher max fatigue. This guy comes with some decent armor, actually. We might think about picking that guy up. Higher initiative, melee defense, and range. Ooh, a thief, probably. Thieves aren't necessarily bad. 20 guys. Yeah, we do need a couple. Well, there was one guy in that last town, too, wasn't there? I kind of want the thief. It's a shame. Well, this guy really has some solid armor, though. Before we hire anyone, how much are these worth? Yeah, nothing, because they also have one, so we're kind of screwed on that, aren't we? Yep, grab a shield. We'll grab a couple of these. These are pretty solid helmets, actually. That's really not a bad price. Anything else? We will need a couple more weapons. These weapons are awfully expensive. We'll grab a polearm. We do have that flail also, don't we? And we will need one more piece of armor. I would like to... Let's get one of these more expensive guys. We'll get the cheap guy back in the other... Yeah, I guess we could get this guy too. You're cheap. You're probably worthless, but that's okay. Here in the beginning, we just kind of need some bodies around. Alright, let's see. You... Mostly we're just buying your armor. We don't really have anything, I mean, that great. Sure, though. We'll pick you up. Now, we do have very low money, which is unfortunate. Alright, the silhouette appears on the horizon. Bertram seeks a word. Never been to Salthaven before, but I've been around. Big cities are expensive, much more so than Krakendorf and other villages, but the merchants have everything we need, weapons, armors, food. There's a smithy in Salthaven. It's worth a visit. It might be expensive. They'll have real weapons. You can also browse the wares in the marketplace. There's a few bargains to be made. They'll also try and sell us stuff or break apart if we sneeze on it. Don't get swindled by the cutthroat merchants, Captain. Thorben Orkbane sees fit to add his own opinion. If there's a tavern, I say, that's where we head first. Pay a round from the company's coffers to get all of us drunk for the night and raise our spirits. Gods know we earned it. Bertram shakes his head. You say that every time we stop into town, even when we ain't done nothing. Keep it in mind. Alright, and now we have to walk back down here. And it might actually be worth honestly just paying for it to go back. So we did waste like $100 on that, but that's okay. We'll get this cheap guy. We shall hire you, Mr. Cheap Bigger. No, well, we should probably get this guy, but then we're out of money, so it's unfortunate. Casper waits for you, pacing back and forth. Finally, you hear good news. Oh, we have one of his former men, Hogarth's former men. The healer who damn near killed you with the fire poke standing nearby picked chunks of dry blood. Casper, the trade master, laughs. We had a nice little talk with the man, and now I know where Hogarth's licking his wounds. I'm eager to get rid of him. You can see it over here. You give him a waiting look and ask, well, where is he? Straightens up, and slow excitement has lost him a fair bit of composure. Oh, right, he's hiding out in some small hut in the plains east of here. Mark it on your map. Apparently, he managed to gather more men in the short time since your battle. I suspect he knows the salt squad's on his heels. Like a bunch of bloodhounds. Good luck. We'll return with his head. And away we go. We'll hit I here, and we'll get our new dudes sort of set up. All right, 48.55 for this guy. That's a pretty solid melee level skill here. Let's see, 20 to 45. Yep, let's switch those out. We do have a shield. Your armor is pretty solid, and you could use a better hat. You could just use a hat, period. And some better armor. Let's give you this one. And we're going to give you the pole arm, and we'll stick you in the back here. Your melee skill's not that high anyway. So else, what do you have? Let's see. Iron lungs. We rarely run out of breath. +5 fatigue. Nice. Death wish. I'm not dead. Doesn't care about receiving injuries. We'll fight on regardless. Holy cow. That dude's nuts. What do you got? Craven. Run for your lives. -10 resolve. You're a chicken. Good skills though. Oh jeez. Really? Why you gotta be a runner? Why can't you just be like a normal dude? You slacker. Alright, here we go. Let's see what's here. You hover over it. A few thugs and a marksman. Now the marksman will be Hogarth, if I remember correctly. Alright. So we do have some high ground down here, which may be beneficial to attempt to get on. Looking at the who goes when initiative sort of thing down here. I'm not sure if we'll be able to make it there, but we may be able to just shift slightly down and make them come to us. I would prefer to move up here if I can a little bit. Okay, there comes their archer. Thankfully he missed. Oh, this guy's got a bunch of stuff. Let's see. Where do we want to shield wall ourselves? Can we get... Okay. That poor dude. Why is your initiative so low, friend? Get down here. Alright, I don't think you need to put up your shield just yet. And no one's going to be able to reach him this turn, I don't think. Ah, 60% chance and you missed. That's unfortunate. So you're there already. I'm thinking, do we try and move up? I would prefer to switch these two. I don't think I'm going to be able to then, which is too bad. Okay. No, I don't think anyone's going to be able to reach him this turn either, but this guy might be shooting at us, so we're gonna bring up our shield. And this guy, that guy who just jumped down is the problem, this guy right here. Alright, so we're going to try something slightly risky here, because otherwise these guys are going to come and surround us. So I'm just going to step down, and we're going to try and nail this guy, which sadly didn't work. Also allow us to step up here with our other guy. So let's reload and see if we can't shoot this guy. 64, what do you got to shoot this guy? 50? That was a good shot. That was a good shot. So we'll step up one, and we'll try and stab this guy. Very nice. We'll shield this, and we'll focus. let's see. We should probably try and focus down Hogarth. Because he's probably the most dangerous threat that we have facing us. Let's reload with our archer. And let's try and kill this guy. Very nice. Oh, we missed that time. That's a shame. Now, this guy is sort of in an unfortunate location. I could move up and try and kill this guy. Maybe that's what we'll do. Try and hit him in the head. Nope, we missed. Okay, so Hogarth just used Riposte, which enables him to attack if he is attacked. So we're just going to sort of shield wall and wait there for a turn. Let's kill this guy. Come on! Oh my gosh. See, this is why we want to kill the archer. Wow, look at this. Nicely done. Our archer is pretty solid anyway. There we go. All right, now we're gonna move. We're gonna try and move out of here. Cause that guy's in trouble. Shield wall and try and attack. Let's see. I don't want to get stuck here next to this guy. Let's see if we can't get closer to this archer with somebody. See, here's the downside. I really need to get close to this guy with somebody who can break his shield, which only one is this guy. So, that's going to be kind of unfortunate. Oh, we missed. That's a shame. There we go, and we will try to smack you in the face. Yes! Very nice. Did a good job there. That stupid shield has got to go. Okay, we'll move there. Next round, we'll see if we can't get in there to... Now, see, I've run out of fatigue with this guy, which is terrible. But thankfully, he's still holding slightly here, but... That darn shield is going to be a problem. We're going to move down so we can shoot this guy with an arrow. Oh, yeah, this guy is really in trouble here. Let's break that shield. Go for the headshot. Very nice. Headshots will, obviously, avoid the shield. So it's something very useful if you can manage it. Now, I can only attack there with that guy who is almost dead, which is really unfortunate. He's also seriously wounded with a deep chest cut, minus hit points and fatigue. 5 to 6 day heal time, which sucks. He may die right here. But this guy's trying to flee. And we killed him. So Thorben Orkbane really took it on the arm there pretty hard, and this guy's got the busted up chest, which is also not good. That being said, we did win the fight, and we had somebody level up, and we got some loot. We got another set of mail, which is good. Another spear and shield, which is excellent. We also got a bunch of money, some salt that we can sell, an extra quiver of arrows, and a bow. All of these things are good. And we'll take those and be on our merry way back over here to Krakendorf. After the battle, Hogarth lies dead in a pool of his own blood, skewered into a grotesque and panicked pose. He didn't weasel his way out of this one. You put a boot on his corpse and look to your men. For the company. For all the men who've fallen. Bertram spits on the dead man's face. Let's take this bastard's head back and get on to Krakendorf. It's not a cheerful mood that the men are in, but it is a content one. Like a blue horizon glowing before a furiously rising sun, the deed is done, the company avenged. In this world, that's about as much closure as one can hope for. Time to get paid. And off we go to Krakendorf once again. Now, once we're done here, we'll probably go cruise up here. Along the way, you lead the way back to Krakendorf as Bertram picks up the pace to catch up with you. Got a moment, Captain? You nod for him to speak his mind. The battle's left armor and shields battered, and the men have sustained some wounds. Perhaps we should make camp so we can get everything in order and put new bandages on. We'll be a lot quicker if we don't have to do it on the road. Every man maintains what equipment they carry, but you'll have to say if we should repair some of the plunder as well. And need to have the tools for that, of course. Just we keep in mind that the camp's fire will be seen from afar, especially come nighttime. So enemies will be able to see the fire from your campsite much sooner. Now, hopefully we can make it in here before dusk. Return to Krakendorf. Company returns to Krakendorf as victors. Their heads held much higher than the last time they visited. The Salt Squad are not the size they once were, but it's still a force to be reckoned with, as Hogarth the Weasel learned too late. You carry his head in a sack that you empty in front of Casper the trade master's feet. As it rolls toward him, he takes a step back, momentarily startled, only to approach again with curiosity. So it is him. Yes, yes, I'm rid of him! Casper, the trademaster, rubs his hand, his face turning into a grimace of cold satisfaction. Not speaking a word, his eyes glued to the weasel's frozen and slack-jawed gaze. He claps his hands for the servants to fetch the crowns and pay you as promised. You raise your voice to the men. As long as there is blood coursing through our veins, as long as we can hold sword and shield in hand, there shall stand the Salt Squad. We've done it before and we'll do it again. We'll make the company known throughout the land. The men cheer. Aldemar puts his hand on your shoulder. You did well, Captain. Whether we travel from one village to the next and look for work or head out to explore and plunder on our own, the men will follow you as brothers in battle. As brothers! And into town we go. Perfect. We made it in time to sell some stuff. Yeah, totally going to sell that. That was a great price. Now, these nets are actually kind of useful. You are able to only use them once, but it roots people in place they can't move, and their defense is lower. So that's nice. $48 really for them is not a bad price, honestly. And that's kind of tempting. That being said, let's see. Who's still here? We were going to hire someone. We were going to hire this fisherman. Let's forget this guy. That'll give us 7 people, which is a pretty good number. You come with a net, actually. It's not bad. Maybe we'll put that down there for now. You need a helmet, though. And probably some armor. So let's give you some armor. Let's see. What are you? 55, 90, 80, 55, 70. Okay, I think you get the armor then. I hate giving that armor to the new guy, but 55, 35. What do we got? 35, 30. Okay, nobody really has any high range skill that I'm seeing. This elbow thing really sucks. Yeah, that's unfortunate. How long does that take to heal? 2 to 4 days? We might just want to wait somewhere for a couple days. 4 to 6. Jeez. We really got smacked hard right at the end of that last fight, didn't we? Well, let's level this guy up. Alright, clearly we want some more range skill. Some defense wouldn't be bad. Neither would initiative or max fatigue. Now, this is over 110, so I think for now we're safe taking the fatigue or the hit points. We'll take the fatigue, and we'll take the defense. And that's pretty solid for our first level up. Now, there's also a bunch of options we have here. You know, there's a lot of these that are sort of helpful depending on the situation. Like, they're all fairly situational. Recover and Adrenaline, both of which are pretty good. Adrenaline lets you go first the next round. Recover allows you to restore a lot of your fatigue in one shot. Student lets you gain XP to level up faster, which is pretty nice. And if you survive to the 11th level, you get another point. So it's kind of a trade-off. You get faster levels, but you don't get any other sort of nice perks at all until then. Now, for the archer, it's kind of interesting. There's not really a lot of bonuses in this first row that you want. Now, if you're using a regular pew-pew bow instead of a crossbow, adaptation's not bad. You get an extra plus 7% chance to hit with every time that you miss. So if we were using the regular bow and arrow, that would probably be a good choice. That being said, we're using the crossbow, so I think for now our best bet is to grab either Student or Pathfinder. Pathfinder is very helpful. It reduces the amount of action points you need to move, and it reduces the fatigue cost, so it's quite nice to get to high ground with your archers. It's a good skill to get at some point. I think we are going to take You know, no, let's be different. Let's take Pathfinder. I want to see how that plays out. This one's also very nice, Bullseye. I will probably take that next level. Okay. I think that for now we'll do everything we need to do over here. We have over $1,000 in the bank, which is great, and we have 43 provisions still, which is enough for a couple more days. Now, if we pause and hit, what key is it? What's our relations? R, real quick. You'll see that now Krakendorf is listed on our sheet of reputation here, and they are friendly with us, which means we get good prices there, basically. Now, there was a contract over here at Salthaven that I would like to get back to, but we're just sort of on our way there walking this time, so we have plenty of money and food. We're just going to stop here and see if we can get some tools, maybe, for a reasonable amount. Also, we may be able to... See, we have footprints. There's something walking around. We may be able to grab another soldier or something like that here as well. Maybe sell some of our stuff. And here's the armorer, which has really great armor. So maybe we should grab something. Gosh, that's really... Ooh, this shield is also... Oh, everything... All the armor is always tempting to purchase. We don't need that, though. We don't need those two things for sure. Or these really basic tunics. Just get rid of the buckler there, too. I'll keep the rest of this stuff. Yeah, boy, these shields and everything are sort of tempting. There is no contract, which is unfortunate. There are a bunch of people, though. Retired background militia, that's not bad. And as you can tell, you know, some people worth more than others. Sometimes it's based on equipment. Sometimes it is based on their skills. This guy he's got this bill hook, which is an amazing weapon. And that would actually be a steal if we had the money for that. The background butcher. That's maybe not a bad choice. Higher melee skill, but lower resolve because he's a deserter. We don't want that guy. Higher max fatigue, but he's got pretty solid armor. Alright, what can we sell our amber for? And we could sell our amber. We'd only be making $18 on each one, though, which is not ideal. How much we can get supplies? That's a good price for supplies. I'm going to grab one of those. I think we're okay on medicinal stuff, but that's a good price also. But I think we're going to leave it. We're just going to grab some food. Resort our inventory. 7 people. I would really like to have an 8th person, honestly. I just don't know that I want to spend this much money for this guy. That's kind of a lot. I don't like to spend a lot of money early in the game because it's kind of hard to make money. Now, I may actually grab this. This is not a bad purchase. $45. Yeah, let's grab that, and we'll grab maybe a shield too, huh? It's always nice to have an extra shield because a lot of times during combat your shields do get broken, which is unfortunate. Now your helmet's 40. This is 40, so let's see who else needs a better helmet here. 40. You don't even have a helmet, so you get a helmet. Okay. Alright. Nice, nice. And we are off once again. We are going towards Assault Haven to see what that contract was. And then you just sort of work your way through the towns and just jump around and see who needs what done. I have found in some ways, if you can get a lot of contracts in a certain area going, it is nice to be able to sort of stay in one area, but the contracts are random, so it's difficult to know exactly where they'll be. Now this place just got burned. It is currently on fire. You can see some footprints here. I'm not sure what that is from. It looks like something was up there doing some damage. And here we have the contract. Okay, so what do we got over here? Anybody affordable? What do you get? Range defense. Yeah. I know we already looked at these guys, but it's always sort of... Gosh, don't want that guy. The fisherman is tempting, but I think we'll leave that for now. Okay, what do we got? Harper, the steward, takes a book from his shelf. When he sets it on his table, dust, or maybe even ash, plume out from it. He opens it, thumbing slowly from page to page. Do you believe in monsters, self-sort? I'm asking honestly, I believe you've had a better walkabout of this world than I. You nod and speak. More than just a belief, yes? The man thumbs another page. Like, we believe monsters have come to Salthaven. We believe that's why people are going missing. Understand where this is going? I need you to find these make-believe creatures and kill them like any other. Are you interested? Let's talk pay. Rest assured, I'm offering is a fine prize for your work. 140 in advance and another 210. Okay, let's try this. No. Okay, that's 1, 2, and let's try 3. Final offer. He didn't budge at all. Wow. Okay, well, let's accept this offer. And we'll hire someone here. Who do we want to hire? Maybe we should get that fisherman. Because if we're going up against what I think we're going up against, which should be direwolves, we're going to need the help. Alright, and I think we have armor and stuff for this guy, don't we? We do. What's your range skill? Not that great. We do have a shield for you. Let's give you that. And let's see, we got a knife? Sure. There you go. And you start with that armor, and we can give you that. Slightly better. I would like to be able to make you into some kind of ranged person, but I don't see that happening. So we're gonna grab the nets. Where was the other net? If we are in fact fighting dire wolves, which I suspect that we are going to need those. Now sadly, again, we cannot sell our amber here because they also sell amber, so that's sort of a bummer. I would really like another pole arm, but there is no pitchfork here, alas. And we'll pause and save the campaign right there. Save game. We shall name it the Salt Squad. We'll put YouTube here in brackets. Okay. And the game is saved. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this first episode of Battle Brothers. Very much appreciated. If you would like to be a part of the company, please do leave a comment about that, either on this video or on the previous video, the recruitment video. I will be assembling a list, and if we make it through the next episode, I will spend some time after the next episode naming everyone who's volunteered so far and putting them into the game. I'll be recording episodes Sunday nights and Wednesday nights, so expect an update about twice a week. I may be able to do slightly more updates than that depending on how much time I have to record on those nights, but I don't want to do more than 2 episodes at one time because I don't want to get too far ahead of the comments and all those sorts of things. Again, thank you so much for being here, for watching, and we will see you in episode 2.